In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make the Pop Rock Twisted Crochet Headband. This is a super fun, quick, and beginner-friendly pattern, and it looks really cute too. This pattern is written in 7 different sizes, ranging from child to large adult, so these can be easily made for the whole family. As always, you'll want to follow along with the written pattern as you watch the tutorial for stitch and row counts for your chosen size, as well as other important information. You can view the pattern for free on my blog, or purchase the digital version if you prefer to print or access your patterns offline. Both versions are linked in the description box below. Pick whichever version works best for you. This is an easy pattern to follow if you already know the basics, like chaining, single crochet, double crochet, and working into the back loops of stitches. However, if you're like, whoa, wait, I don't know how to do any of that, don't worry, I have a separate tutorials walking you through each of those skills. I'll have them linked in the description box below, so check those out if you need to, learn the stitches, and come back here when you're ready. To get started, here's what you'll need. Medium number 4 weight yarn. I'm using One Ball I Love This yarn print. This is the color Bloom Teak, and later you'll see Orange Zest and Lollipop Love. A 5.5mm crochet hook, scissors, a measuring tape, and a yarn needle. We're going to first start with a slip knot. Pull to tighten, and we're going to begin with a foundation chain. The pattern will tell you how many chains to make for your specific size. I am making a size 5, so I will be chaining 79. If you've never made a slip knot and you've never made a foundation chain, don't worry. As I said before, I have tutorials walking you through this process, so if you need help with that, be sure to find those tutorials in the description box below. If you'd like, pause here and be back up with me once you've made your foundation chain. Alright, so I finished my foundation chain, but before I start row 1, I always go back and check my work. So I'm going to count my chains and make sure I have the right number. Alright, so perfect. I have the correct amount of stitches and I'm ready to move on to row 1. When working into the foundation chain, I like to flip my foundation chain over and work into these little back bumps. It just creates a smoother finish. So for row 1, we're going to start by making a single crochet stitch into the second chain from our hook. And in the next chain, we're going to make a double crochet. In the next chain, we're going to make a single crochet. And in the next chain, we're going to make a double crochet. And that's all we're going to do across the entire row. We're going to alternate between single crochet and double crochet until we get to the end of the row. And like I said before, if you are struggling with any of these skills, go to the description box below this video and I have tutorials walking you through how to do a single crochet stitch, how to do the double crochet, so you have everything you need to be successful with this pattern. As you work across the row, you are going to end up with an even number of stitches. So the last stitch of the row will be a double crochet stitch. So if you like, pause here and meet back up with me once you've finished row 1. Okay, I am making my last stitch of the row. It is a double crochet stitch. And now I'm ready to turn my work. And we can start row 2. Row 2 and all of the even rows will mark the front of our work, also known as the right side. So to start row 2, we're going to begin with a chain 1. And we're going to skip the first stitch and we're going to work into the second stitch. But before we get started, I want to take a quick look at the top of our work. You'll see that it kind of looks like a braid and each stitch has 2 loops. So instead of going into both of those loops like we normally do, for this project, we're going to work into that back loop only. Again, we're skipping that first stitch and into that second stitch, we're going to insert our hook into the back loop only, and we're going to make a single crochet And into that same stitch, we're going to make a double crochet. We're going to skip that next stitch. And in the next stitch, we're going to single crochet and double crochet into the back loop only of that stitch. Going to skip a stitch, and in the next stitch, we're single crocheting and double crocheting into that back loop only. Again, skip a stitch, single crochet and double crochet into the back loop only of that next stitch. And that's all we're going to do across this entire row. So as we work this stitch, we are only going to be, and you may have noticed this already, but we're only working into the single crochet stitches from our previous row. We're always skipping the double crochet stitch. So for the entirety of this project, we will never be working into a double crochet stitch. This is all we're going to do for the entirety of the project. We're simply going to skip a stitch, work a single crochet and double crochet into the back loop of the next stitch. So if you'd like, pause here and meet back up with me once you get to the end of the row. I'm almost to the end of row 2. I just have one more cluster to make. So we're going into that last stitch of the row. That was the first single crochet of row 1. And we're making our single crochet and double crochet into the back loop only of that stitch. Perfect. So we just completed row 2 and we're ready to turn our work and begin row 3. From here on out, we're simply going to repeat row 2 and the pattern will tell you how many rows to do for whatever size you're making. And while we work on row 3, I want to mention that the digital version for this pattern features a large font that's easy to read and makes crocheting this project so much easier. The pattern covers 7 sizes ranging from child to a large adult and includes a cheat sheet for picking the right size even if you have no idea of the head size of the person you're making this for, like a gift, for example. And dare I say, this headband makes for a great gift. You're probably not going to ask somebody for their head measurement or it'll ruin the surprise. I designed the digital version of this pattern with QR codes and clickable links. So if you print it out, you can scan the QR code to easily jump to this tutorial, or if you like to stay paperless and use your iPad or tablet instead, you can just tap the link in the pattern to instantly jump right to this video. It makes following along so much easier, and not to mention, it's the best way to support Just Be Crafty to keep fun tutorials coming your way. The link is down below. Anyway, if you'd like, pause here and meet back up with me once you've completed your last row, and then we can form our twisted headband together. Okay, so your piece should resemble this. I did switch my sample, obviously, but I have cut my yarn, leaving myself a nice long 16-inch tail, and I have fastened off, and I am ready to form my headband. But before we do that, you're going to want to take a quick measurement here. You're going to want to measure and make sure that the width of your piece is the proper measurement for your size. So you'll want to reference back to the pattern to check and make sure that you are at the proper width for your size. I am doing a size 5, so my piece should be 20 inches at this point. I did that off camera and it is, and we are going to be losing about an inch when we join the ends to make the twisted headband. So that's important to note. Your finished headband should be about 2 to 3 inches smaller than your actual head measurement. So my head measures to be 22 inches, and so my finished headband will be 3 inches smaller than that. So it's measuring 20 inches right now, and when I join and do the twist, I'll lose an inch, so it'll be 19 inches. The pattern goes into much more detail about this, so you'll want to make sure to reference the pattern for your proper size and for any help with sizing. It's also important to note that you get gauge. So that is listed in the pattern. If you're not getting gauge, then this project is not going to fit properly. So this is one of those projects where gauge is incredibly important. So now we're going to do the fun part. It's time to join our two ends together. So lay your piece flat out in front of you with the wrong side or back side facing up. And you're going to grab, using both hands, we're going to grab both ends and pinch and we're going to interlock them together like so. So we're just interlocking our two pinched ends just like that. So that's our roadmap. That is what we're going to do to join, just so you know what we're doing. So I like to know what I'm doing before I get started. Now you can go ahead, grab your yarn needle, and we're going to thread it with our nice long tail, and we're going to do that same thing. So you're going to pinch both ends upward, just like this. And then you're simply going to interlock those layers into a nice stack. So I'm going to show you again. We're interlocking those layers into a nice little sandwich. So now you can take your yarn needle and we're gonna try to line up your edges as much as possible. And this does not have to be perfect, but we're gonna take our yarn needle and we're gonna make sure to catch each layer as we go through. I'm gonna pull my needle through and we're just gonna make a running stitch along this little end. And we're gonna make sure to catch all 4 layers. So now I'm going back through that way. And I'm just going to repeat that process. So we're going back down, catching all 4 layers. And then we're going to go back through. And you're just going to do that until you get to the end of the line. And I got to the end. That looks good. So I'm going to just insert my needle near where I just came out, create a loop, and I'm going to pull my needle through that loop to secure with a little knot. And now I'm just going to work my way to that seam, and I'm going to simply weave in my end. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do another little knot. Okay, so that's nice and secure. So we can go ahead and weave in that end. So all we're going to do is we're going to simply hide this tail as inconspicuously as possible. Just tangling this end in so we never see it ever again. So I like to get myself to a little straightaway row, to a little straight row. And I go back and forth in the same spot. That's about 1 inch or so long, catching different loops as I go. I'm splitting the yarn and I'm really tangling my end in there. I like to go back and forth at least 3 times. And once you feel like it's sufficiently weaved in, you can go ahead and trim your yarn. And oop, it looks like I have a little knot. Okay, so I got that out. And that looks good. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim that tail. And then I'm just going to repeat that weaving in process for this remaining tail off camera. And there you have it, the Pop Rock Winter Twisted Headband. I really hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you did, please let me know by giving the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already and would like to, make sure you subscribe so you never miss a new tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!